Am I the asshole for asking my wife to respect my title as pilot? I need the opinions of av geeks and pilots on a matter involving my wife.
Pilot behind.
I am completely serious and need help. All caps. My wife and I, together for 5 years, married for 2, no kids, have an amazing, happy relationship. I can't recall a single time we've ever argued to the point of a breakup or divorce. The issue, however, is causing me to reconsider the health of our relationship. Since my wife and I have been together, I've worked as a manager for a restaurant chain. I am an extremely passionate aviation enthusiast in my free time.
Hell yeah.
I've spent thousands of dollars on flight textbooks, sim gear, and even built my own A330 setup. I have never actually flown a plane or started flight training, but I have considered it for a long time. Even though my skills are not a career, I still consider myself as adept or possibly more knowledgeable than the average pilot. That being said, here's where the problem arises. My wife and I were invited to one of her male coworkers' house for a barbecue. My wife is a senior software tech for a COVID startup. She's worked there since 2020, a lucky catch after she was laid off from her previous job due to the virus. It was my first time meeting many of her now close coworkers due to COVID and working from home. I'd assumed she'd talked about me before, but as we were cycling through introductions, I became less sure. We make our way down the line to the host of the party, a new male hire that she has grown platonically close with. We exchanged casual conversation, and Greg, the host, asked what I do for a living. My wife chimes in with, quote, he manages a insert fast food chain. It certainly comes with some benefits. I'm assuming she's referring to free food. In a voice that implied nothing was wrong with what she said. I quickly corrected her and told him that I am a pilot. My wife already knows how insecure I am about my job and how I'd much rather be introduced by my hobby. I've earned the title of pilot through my 500 plus hours on the sim and thousands of dollars put into my craft. I think it is incredibly disrespectful for her to not acknowledge my skills and training. Just because I don't have the title of pilot on an overpriced piece of paper doesn't mean I'm not a pilot. I laughed it off with Greg, told him under my breath that my wife was often forgetful, which I'm sure he's realized just from working with her. He seemed to brush it off casually. At this point, I'm fuming, but I don't go much farther than exchanging some nasty glances at my wife for the rest of the night. As we pack into the car to leave, the argument starts. She feels as if I don't deserve my title as pilot because I'm not a professional. I told her she is completely insensitive to the work I've done and she will never understand what it's like to study so much. She's currently on the couch as I type this. Am I really the asshole for asking to be respected?
I love this man.
This is divorce worthy for me. This dude's a nut. He's an absolute little nut. Am I the asshole for not telling people happy birthday the traditional way? Okay, so this is going to sound silly, and I feel I'm probably not an asshole for this, but when I was about 18, I'm 26 now, I got bored of saying happy birthday to people all the time and wanted to have a more unique way of saying happy birthday, so I would be more memorable. I know there are silly cards and stuff, but I started trying to come up with a new phrase to say. Now, my first one was, quote, happy day of being pushed out of your mother's uterus. Until I said that to someone, and they told me that they were a C-section baby, so technically not pushed out. And I was like, you know what? You are right. And I changed it to, quote, happy day of being forcefully removed from your mother's uterus, because it's all inclusive. And since deciding on that, it's what I have told everyone every year since on their birthday. Now, I have my mother-in-law, 49, who does not really like me to begin with, and she nitpicks everything I say and do. However, even though I've been with my husband for 9 years, she apparently never noticed before today when I said that exact phrase to her oldest son, my brother-in-law, which really the fact that she has never noticed before in 9 years can tell you a lot about my relationship with her, in my opinion.
IMO.
After hearing this, she freaked out on me because what I said was, quote, vulgar, rude, and making fun of the birthday traditions. I personally don't see this vulgar or rude, but I am not always the best at social cues. So maybe it is. However, no one else has complained or said anything before. before. And usually it gives people a nice chuckle. So here I am to ask, am I the asshole? Am I missing the social cues here? And am I in fact being vulgar and rude?
No, it's just not funny.
It's just weird.
I feel like I knew people like this.
I feel like you're just trying too hard to like make something. Like it reminds me of Mean Girls. Like, fetch is not going to happen, Gretchen.
Right.
Like, it's like, why are you trying to overcomplicate things? And like, no one wants to be reminded of their mom's uterus on their birthday.
I would say anti this bit.
Yeah.
I'm not an asshole though. I will say not an asshole.
Not an asshole. It's not that aggressive. It's just like a meh, don't do it again.
Yeah, Matt, you think of like a better bit.
Yeah, it's...
I don't know what that better bit is.
It's so interesting. The concepts of bits are really new to me. I didn't realize that so many people had real life bits that they do every day nonstop. Like, it's just a part of their lives.
Yeah.
Like, I try to think about it, but I don't really feel like I have a bit.
Bits are great. It's fun just to like have bits that go nonstop.
What's yours?
I don't know. I got a bunch of bits going.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, well, what's the best one?
I have no idea. I don't really know where the bits end and they begin.
Hello?
DAD is home.
Yeah. You haven't met my dad.
No, I haven't met your dad yet.
Oh my God, you'll get to meet him when we're done.
I did like that he just did that.
He is a walking bit as well.
See, that's it. It's all about bits. That's how you get through life. Gotta just do little bits to yourself.
Okay.
Make yourself laugh.
I need to come up with a bit then.
I was doing a bit to myself this morning. I don't even remember what it was, but it was getting me good.
Oh my God, you guys, the tea is so freaking piping hot. I had to tell someone, and I'm gonna tell you guys what's up. Okay, so not everyone knows this, but last year I got a job as an admissions coordinator at this school, but I was only there for like a month before I got the offer for my current position, and I took the offer for my current position because it was a better offer. So like 2 weeks before I even got the offer for my position that I'm in now, I made a friend there who had just gotten hired, and we became so close. We were like two peas in a pod, and we were hanging out there every day. So when I got my new position, I was like, oh, you should take over my role. And I suggested that she take over my role and I train her for it. And that's exactly what happened. She got my role, and eventually she was supposed to get the pay raise and all that. Well, I don't know how long it's been, like almost 6 months. And me and her have kept in contact. We have like little snap streaks, so we talk all the time. And she just told me that she went to HR against our old boss. Now, I got weird vibes from our old boss when I was there. Like, she was really passive aggressive, and I just got weird vibes from her and the things that she would say and do sometimes, but I wasn't there long enough to pick up on all the stuff, but she was, and she wrote this like 3-page complaint, and I'm gonna tell you all the stuff that our boss has been doing. So the first thing is, she was talking shit about me after I left, saying that it's a good thing I left on my own because she was gonna fire me. I know that's a lie, because when I emailed her my 2 weeks, she wasn't in the office. She called me instantly on my personal phone and was trying to get me to say and saying if there's anything else that they could do to keep me, or if I was 100% sure with this decision. I really think she didn't like me because I'm the type of person who gets along with everyone and gets everyone together and like boosts morale, but I don't think she likes people being together and her feeling excluded. But she's our boss. Like, you're not going to be in our circle like that. So she's always talking crap about the employees. She doesn't want to talk to the employees directly, so she would have my friend go and tell them things, be like, no, you go and tell her this, go and tell that person this. Whenever my friend was talking to someone else, like a coworker, she would come up to her and keep saying her name over and over again and telling her to come to her office until she did. Like, she wouldn't let her finish her conversation, and she would like snap at her to hurry up. Another thing she mentioned in the complaint is that she has plastic forks in her drawer in her cubicle, and our boss had seen her grab one, and then the next day our boss goes to her cubicle, pulls the drawer open and grabs a fork without asking her, and just goes in her station. And then when she goes up and she's like, hey, do you need anything? She's like, oh, I was just grabbing a fork because you were in the middle of a conversation. If that wasn't bad enough, it gets way worse, because this is why my friend had to go report her.
Am I the asshole for always being overdressed and making my wife look bad because she doesn't dress up? I work in a corporate setting, which requires me to always be in formal apparel. I've gotten used to wearing formal clothing to the point where I actually prefer to wear it most of the time. Whether I'm picking up my kids from practice, visiting family, or shopping, except for when I go to the gym, I wear tailored pants with a button-up of some sort. I know that I'm overdressed most of the time, but I enjoy being dressed well, and it's become my style. My wife, on the other hand, is completely opposite of me. She likes to wear casual and comfortable clothes like sweatpants and hoodies, which is fine. But when we go out, she thinks it makes her look bad. Am I the asshole for always being overdressed and making my wife look bad because she doesn't dress up? My wife says that when we go out together, I make her look like a slob because I'm overdressed, making her look like she doesn't care for herself. A couple of days ago, we were visiting my in-laws and I was wearing my usual type of clothing while my wife was just wearing a hoodie and some sweatpants. My wife's mother made a joke about me looking nice in my clothes and jokingly said people would never assume my wife and I are married, and that I should encourage her to not dress like a slob. I laughed it off and said that my wife just likes being comfortable. But now my wife said that I should stop dressing like a pretentious person and stop making her look bad.